How's it going, y'all? My name is Matt. This is Dylan. Welcome into Fantasy Filmball. Today we're going to be predicting the Critics' Choice Awards. They're coming up very, very soon, and we're predicting some shakeups, I guess. I think we're going to go for some upsets here. Let's go for it. I mean, the Critics' Choice, they're basically just trying to predict the Oscar. So really what we're doing here is thinking in the minds of people who are just trying to predict who is going to win the Oscar. And so that's where we're coming from on this. So let's get into the big one, the big boy, Best Picture.
Yeah, and at first I would like to say if you set your Gold Derby odds on time, every movie here was 100 to 1 odds for the first day the poll was open. So this is the category you put your double money on, you go all out for, because this makes or breaks your rankings.
I just did mine yesterday, which means I have bad odds on everything.
Well, I don't know what to pick here because last night really messed up my thinking because I was between Banshees and Everything Everywhere because I thought Elvis, Maverick, or Avatar would take the Globe drama. Fableman's won, so now I have Fableman's, Banshees, and Everything Everywhere all at 100 to 1 odds, and I don't know what to put here for my double because this basically makes or breaks my rankings here. Everything Everywhere makes the sense that they go off of passion because of critics have been the most passionate about this movie, surprisingly so, and then Fableman's makes sense that they're predicting, but also Banshees kind of has a good case as well.
Yeah, Everything Everywhere and Banshees really do make a ton of sense here, because those are the two critics' picks. But ultimately, like I just said, this is not a critics group. It could go Fableman's. I'm going to say, if I were to rank those three, Everything Everywhere, Banshees, Fableman's. That's the likelihood that I see. So I'm going to say Everything Everywhere takes this one.
You know, we just had a whole discussion about this before we got on to record this part, and I think I'm gonna have to agree. Well, I think this could be the beginning of like, hey, Fableman's is for real. It's not just like the dead movie we thought it was. It actually does have some sort of passion, even if it is predicting passion. I don't know, but I'm gonna stick with Everything Everywhere because this is Critics' Choice, and I feel like if someone has to go with them as a precursor, it has to be here over Globes, over BAFTAs. This would be the place where a major precursor says, okay, we will take the bite. We'll be the first ones to say this is going to win.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm going to say if there is an upset, it's Fableman's. I'm going to move it around. I'm going to say Everything Everywhere, Fableman's, and then Banshees. So
I would agree.
Fableman's
and nothing else has a shot to
make the
win.
most sense. Nothing else has a shot. Tar is like a distant fourth place.
The people who would vote for Tar would vote for Banshees, is in my eyes.
Yeah, but it's the critics' choice.
Yeah.
Right? It's the critics' choice, and like I just see it as being, since it is a critics group, that's the only reason it's higher than like Top Gun, for example.
Okay. That brings us to when we did our reactions, the fun category, because we have 10 nominees in director. And we're not going to bore you through with the 10 people. We're just going to tell you the people who actually have a shot to win because this list is growing smaller and smaller by the day. I think there's two who can win here?
Maybe three, but I'd say two, really.
Daniels, Spielberg, and is your third Field, or is it Cameron?
Cameron. Okay. Cameron's my third, but it's a distant third. So we'll say there's only two that can win here. Take your pick, Daniels or Spielberg.
I think I'll hedge my bets here, and I'll go Spielberg. And I'll ultimately get 1 out of 2. Just, am I going to get the better odds of the 100 to 1 in picture, or am I going to get the 22 to 1 odds in director? Because I have both of them for 22 to 1 there. I don't know. I want to pick Cameron. I want this to be the saving ground for him, where he's able to regroup and get back into the winning conversation. I honestly think like you said this a long time ago, and I was like, no, it won't matter. But I honestly think the fact that he announced he's directing 3 and 4 and 5, that they're just not going to vote for him this year. And they're like, okay, whatever, we got you later. And I think if he didn't announce that until after nominations, I feel like he would easily be like still in winning competition because of like the marvel that this is and how revolutionary it is. But the fact that he's in, oh yeah, we're doing more and we're going to switch it up again, I think is really killing his
And
kids.
then the Fire Nation attacked.
Hey, it could be. It could be. Imagine what they do with water this time. Now imagine Kate Winslet breathing fire.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm going to go Daniels here. I feel like... I don't know. If I'm predicting Everything Everywhere in Best Picture here, I feel like it's got to get director. Unless we start to see an emerging trend of, like, award shows going Everything Everywhere Picture, and then Spielberg director, Banshee's screenplay, and Everything Everywhere, like, editing or something. But it just makes sense. Plus, I've got 7-1 odds here versus 13-2 odds for Spielberg. So, you know what? I'm going to go Daniels with this one.
Well, we have some time if we decide to change our picks because the Critics' Choice are still about a week away from announcing. Or is it... What day is it? I forgot what day it is.
What day are the Critics' Choice Awards?
I don't remember what they are.
Let's see.
But still, they're a little bit of ways. So we have time to switch if we decide to switch. But yeah, I think I'm going to hedge my bets and hopefully I get 1 out of 2 and at the minimum because I'd rather go 1 out of 2 than 0 for 2.
Right. It's on Sunday.
Okay, so yeah. By the time this is posted, our bets have been locked because I think this is going live on Friday.
Yeah, so...
I'll add an update at the bottom of the screen for everyone out there who's wondering what our final picks were.
Yeah, I guess so. I think I'm probably just going to stick with whatever I do here. Because I've learned too many times that a last-minute switch usually ends up with me fucking up.
Well, speaking of a last-minute switch, I just did that in Actress because I moved Blanchett to 1 over Yeoh.
Yeah, I've got Blanchett number 1 too, but Michelle Yeoh is second place. She could happen. Especially if Everything Everywhere just, like, sweeps here.
Mm-hmm. That would be weird, though.
It doesn't seem like something they'd do.
Anyone else have a shot to win for you?
It's just those two. It's just those two.
I think kind of like how you were mentioning director, like how Cameron's like a distant third. I would say Deadweiler's a distant third, but still not a real winning shot. That brings us to a category where I do see 3 people having a chance to win, and that is Best Actor.
I agree. Best Actor, I think that the one who's out ahead is Colin Farrell. And then I would put Brendan Fraser and Austin Butler very close behind in second and third, respectively. But you have Butler for the Oscar. Do you have Butler here?
I don't know. I currently do at the moment, but I feel like Farrell should probably win this because if you're predicting, I feel like maybe you go Butler. But this is the critics' choice, and not everyone is predicting. People are still going to vote for their critics' pick, and the critics' pick here is Farrell. The only thing, I guess, keeping my mind off of like maybe it won't be Farrell is if the critics do go with like their personal favorites, Farrell and Fraser could kind of split while the people predicting Butler could outweigh. But this is a huge group, so that's probably not a actual thing.
Rami Malek didn't win in 2018 here.
Do we know who won last year? Was it Smith or was it Cumberbatch?
Great question.
Or was it Garfield? Because I know Garfield upset somewhere along the lines, but I don't think it was here.
Let me just see who won last year.
While Matt looks that up, I will say right now before he says, if Smith won, I'm going Butler. If Cumberbatch won, I'm going Farrell.
Okay, let me just see. Will Smith.
Will Smith? All right, Austin Butler is my pick.
But again, Rami Malek lost to Christian Bale.
He did, but also at that time, I would say Christian Bale was probably still the front runner. And I still believe that Butler is the front runner. But regardless, I've kind of said this all season. I'm going with the whole Austin Butler's Will Smith path, where he's not going to win much of the regional stuff, but when we get to major awards, he's pretty much going to clean house. And started with the Globes, and I guess this will be the next deciding factor before we get to BAFTA.
Yeah, but I still maintain the reason I disagree with that is because, like, Will Smith was a career award propped up by 25 years of performances that had not been honored. Butler is a young up-and-comer.
Yeah, I hear that argument, and I'm just neglecting it, and I'm not acknowledging it. And by not acknowledging
You've
it,
just got your fingers in your ears going la 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 la.
Exactly. And by neglecting it, I'm going to move us to the next category, which is supporting actress, where we kind of have the same debate to talk about because Condon is an up-and-coming film actress. I know she's done other stuff, but this is her first breakout film performance. And you have long career award type contenders like Bassett, like Curtis, and then you also have more critics type picks like Buckley, like Sue, and then you have Monet sitting there who has won some major precursors, but doesn't seem very likely here.
No, I think that there's 3 that could win this. It's Condon, it's Bassett, it's Curtis. Take your pick. I'm going to say Curtis is the least likely of those 2 because Bassett is shaping up to be the career sweep. So let's say it's between Condon and Bassett. Condon is the critics' pick.
Mm-hmm.
Easily the critics' pick. It's she leads in regional critics groups. That's not the same as the Critics' Choice Awards, though. So I guess it comes down to, do they want a great speech, or do they go with someone that makes the most sense for an awards win? I have Condon right now. I'm just going to stick with Condon. It very much could be Bassett. But
I'm in the same
Condon
place.
feels more Critics' Choice.
I'm in the same place. I also think Banshees are going to win 2 above the line categories, and I don't have it winning actor like we just mentioned. I don't have it winning picture. I don't have it winning director. So this would be the additional win for it. But Bassett, after the Globes win, after the SAG nomination earlier today, seems pretty likely. But Condon was also there along the steps, and Condon is still the front runner for the Oscar. But like I mentioned earlier, I still think Condon could be Balf from Belfast, just without the snub part, just where people are like, oh, she's won, and she was never really won. They just didn't have anyone else to put. So I don't know how that will translate here. But I think I'm gonna keep Condon for the moment. But this is something I feel like I did with Globes, I could switch last minute just because the Bassett love is real and it's very strong.
That's the thing. I feel like this is one where I might swap at the last minute, but I think I'm just going to say, let's just lock it in. It's Carrie Condon.
All right.
Supporting actor.
Yes.
So easy.
Yep.
Let's just not even spend time entertaining a possible upset. It's Ke Huy Quan right here.
It is, and honestly, if there even was an upset, I don't even know who to pick, because I don't think it would be Gleason, but there's no one else to pick. So yeah, let's not even think about it too much, and let's just say Quan, and let's move on.
Yeah. All right, original screenplay is next.
And
I think we're both going for Banshees here.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do see a possibility of Everything Everywhere All at Once happening.
I do as well.
But I'm just going to say, let's just lock in Banshees and hope that it's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, I also could see a small world where Tar does pull the upset, but I'm not predicting that.
I think Fabelmans would be over Tar, though, if there was an upset here.
Fair enough. Gold Derby would agree with you. I think I'm just leaning to more, it's still the critics' choice, and there could be some critics that be like, well, I think Tar is the best movie of all time, therefore I'm going to vote Tar everywhere, including original score, even though there's no score in the movie. Regardless, Banshees is both our picks here, even though I think we both personally would rather have Everything Everywhere, but this is a
Banshees
show
is setting up to sweep screenplay other than
Yes.
WGA.
Correct. And that brings us to an interesting category, being adapted screenplay, where you think it should be cut and dry, but the world would lead you to believe it is not cut and dry. But I think ultimately it is, because Women Talking is still going to win.
Yeah, I think people are entertaining a little bit too much that, like, oh, what if Women Talking is not the winner here? What if it's Glass Onion? It's not Glass Onion, man. Like,
if it was Glass Onion.
No matter what, if you come out of Women Talking, you're thinking of the ensemble and you're thinking of the screenplay. Like, the writing in that is just so juicy that, like, no voter in their right mind, at least not no voter, but very few voters in their right minds are going to see these two on a ballot and go, you know, Women Talking, what a beautiful screenplay that said so many things about the patriarchy and about our relationships with each other and about how we reform as a society after tragedy. But you know what? Glass Onion had some good memes. It was a really fun one, so I'm going to go with Glass Onion.
Among Us for the win.
Yes, Glass Onion is very fun, but it just doesn't... When you put those two choices up against each other and you're saying, pick one of these as a screenplay win, like, how would the majority go with Glass Onion?
Because, like, I even think as well, like, your argument for Glass Onion, you would need to say, like, oh, Glass Onion is a stronger Best Picture play than Women Talking. It's not. Glass Onion's going to get another above-the-line nomination that Women Talking want to get. Maybe for Monet,
It will, but yeah.
Possibly not, because Monet's still on the chopping block for supporting.
That's true.
And then you go to just the overall passion for these movies throughout the season, and Women Talking's had throughout. Netflix doesn't really, they seem to be dropping Glass Onion for All Quiet at the moment, so that angle as well. And then if you go to divisiveness online, as we've mentioned, most people who watch Women Talking really like it, and the ones who don't are a very vocal minority. Well, Glass Onion seems to be, it's kind of the same thing, a very vocal minority, but a little bit bigger because it's more seen. So there's more people who are like, I don't know. Well, Women Talking, this is the group that would like it, and this is the group that would want to vote for it. And I think this is a pretty easy category, and I don't understand really why people are making it a lot more difficult than it should be.
It's because there are some people who have convinced themselves that Women Talking is going to fail no matter what. If it fails anywhere, it won't be here. So I'm going to say it's Women Talking with a very small chance of Glass Onion.
I got 99% Women Talking. Which brings us...
I'd say 90 to 10.
Which brings us to Film Ensemble, where I guess my whole argument about Glass Onion, like, oh, Glass Onion needs to do this, needs to do that. Glass Onion didn't make SAG today. It made Film Ensemble here, though, but Women Talking also made SAG. It made it here. Therefore, to me, Women Talking's a stronger player overall. But this easy award, Everything Everywhere, small chance Women Talking. Everything else I don't really think has a shot.
Yes, I'm going to say Everything Everywhere, but ultimately I think that SAG and Critics' Choice don't need to go for the same ensemble winner. Mm-hmm. Everything Everywhere is easily going to win SAG, but Women Talking could win here. And I'm going to be honest, I think this is one of my hardest choices because it would make sense for Critics' Choice to go Women Talking here and then Everything Everywhere elsewhere. But I'm going to stick with Everything Ever All at Once, just because I'm predicting overriding love for this film here. Mm. So I kind of have to pick it here, I guess. But I think it's less of a small chance of Women Talking than you think. I would say it's like 60-40 right now.
Yeah, I would say 75, 70-20, and then the rest of the percentage is like a very small Glass Onion overperformance. Like, hey, we love this movie, but if Glass Onion wins Ensemble, it wins Adapted, but still, I don't think that happens. That brings us to Young Actor, Young Actress. I kind of think this is kind of easy. Some other people may disagree. I think this is LaBelle Fabelman's.
People might disagree because Frankie Corio is like sweeping critics awards for this category, but it's Gabriel LaBelle. This is not a regional critics group. They're not going to go head over heels for After Sun. It's Gabriel LaBelle, small chance of Frankie Corio.
Yeah, watch it be crazy and like Banks Repido wins for Armageddon Time. They're just like, screw it. Yeah. Let's go with this. To the category that gave us our biggest question mark on nomination morning, because no Babylon, even though Babylon's on picture and director and all these other categories. Comedy film, our winner here, I think we're both saying the opposite of the Globes, and Everything Everywhere upsets Banshees. Yes, or maybe not upsets, but wins.
It makes sense for Everything Everywhere to win here because we're predicting a little bit more love for Everything Everywhere from Critics' Choice. I mean, they over-nominated Everything Everywhere, whereas Banshees did not fare as well here. So it makes more sense for Everything Everywhere to win this prize.
It's weird that Glass Onion is ahead of Banshees on Gold Derby, but regardless, we both have Everything Everywhere. It's number one on Gold Derby, and that brings us to another category I think is pretty easy. Animated Pinocchio. That sound good to you?
Pinocchio sounds good. Small, tiniest chance of Marcel the Shell.
Foreign film. Here's a real question. Does Argentina 1985 pull out another miraculous win? I don't think so.
Absolutely fucking not. No. Because, I mean, think about it this way. RRR is nominated in picture here.
It is. And that's why I have it predicted to win. But I think...
I'm predicting it.
There's a small chance for All Quiet, but I'm still going with RRR.
Small chance for All Quiet, small chance for Decision to Leave. But ultimately, it's RRR at the Critics' Choice.
Yeah, I agree because, like you mentioned, it got nominated in picture, got nominated in director. My case for All Quiet is if they're predicting the Oscar, that's their pick to predict the Oscar. And they're like, oh, well, we want to have the same winner as they do. Even though RRR is not eligible there, we could give it the win and be like, screw you, Oscars. People are like, oh, well, I got to, like you said, they predict other awards. And sadly, that brings us to our next category where they're going to be predicting Top Gun Maverick to win cinematography. I love Maverick cinematography, but you got Avatar right there, and Avatar's not winning the Oscar. I know. I'm saying so you know it's dead. But
I think Top Gun, actually, personally, I would put Top Gun ahead of Avatar in cinematography.
Mm-hmm. They're my 1 and 2, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's most likely Top Gun, the smallest chance of Avatar.
And any world you see a Roger Deakins comes out of nowhere for Empire of Light?
No. If anything, it's Linus Sandgren with the steel chair with Babylon.
Okay, I agree. I just wanted to dig on Empire of Light one last chance before hopefully we stop seeing it for nominations.
It got ASC though.
Bardo got ASC. They redeemed themselves. That's my counter.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's just quickly talk ASC because they normally go 4 out of 5, but this year the only one that's in the predicted 5 right now is Top Gun. Mm-hmm. So I put Elvis in, I guess, but now I have 2 out of 5 because I'm not predicting Bardo, I'm not predicting Empire of Light, and I'm not predicting the Batman.
I think I've had Elvis in, so I got 2 out of 5 there. I would say if they were to pick a third, I think it would be Batman, just because it's Greg Fraser writing the love from last year, from Dune. And then if it would be a fourth, I'm probably biased. I guess I would lean Bardo. I don't know. I just don't.
It would be Empire of Light over Bardo.
Bardo does what Empire of Light does, but better. But yeah, but I guess the name.
Yeah, but it would be Empire of Light over Bardo.
When's the last time ASC went 3 of 5?
Oh, great question. Actually, let me just
because Batman...
let's continue to the next category, and I will look up the ASC awards in the past few years and just going through
because Batman is, I think, realistic because Fableman's could drop or something along those lines. But regardless, costume design. If you're predicting the Oscars, maybe you go Wakanda, maybe you go Elvis. I would lean towards Elvis, but what do you think CCA will do here? Because Gold Derby says Wakanda forever.
This is costume design. I'm going Elvis, and I think Black Panther can happen, Babylon can happen. There's 3 of them that I think are solid chances. But honestly, I think this category is almost wide open, because I could also see Everything Everywhere take it.
Fair enough. Like we've mentioned before, Everything Everywhere has been having not a resurgence, but a very high overperformance here at CCA. That brings us to editing. Do you think that carries over here? Or do you think Maverick is just flying on by and coasting with this win?
No, I think Everything Everywhere wins.
Okay, I'm still with Maverick.
Let me just go into this because I know we've been hit over and over and over by the craziness of just this editing category correlating with sound. Last year we thought maybe it could break because Dune kept losing things, and then Dune won. And previously, Sound of Metal lined up, Ford v Ferrari lined up. It always feels like it just lines up. But let's just talk about when if a voter loves Everything Ever All at Once, what's the first thing you think of when you think of that movie?
I don't think you want me to answer because I would say Quan.
You'd say Quan? I'd think of the editing. I think it's so maximal. I would think of so many... if I were to look at a ballot that had Top Gun and Everything Everywhere, I'd be like, yeah, Top Gun had some, great scenes, but Everything Everywhere was so much. I don't know. I think if there's any film that can break the sound correlation, it's Everything Everywhere. And it makes sense for Everything Everywhere to win a Critics' Choice Award, because they... I don't think that they always go with the Oscars pick and editing here, because, I don't think that they need to go with stuff that's going to be, over the top, blockbuster, action scenes. So
yeah, I guess my case for Maverick, my case for Maverick would be is that movie's so well paced. It's one of the shortest Best Picture nominees this year, and it could be the shortest depending on how some things shake up. And that movie's so tight. And I think that's where the editing love comes from, is how just well paced it is, and I think even the people who love Everything Everywhere do say like, hey, it kind of there's some time in this like the third act where it kind of drags a little bit, but still, I think you're right. Those are the top two. I think Elvis is honestly number 3, because if you're going maximalism, Elvis is right there.
Elvis is number 3. Elvis is number 3 for sure.
I think I'm leaning Maverick, but I would not be surprised. Everything Everywhere overperforms. I think if it wins editing, though, Daniel's 100% win director. I think that would just be a true overperformance, and it continues across the board.
Yeah. So I'm looking back year after year at ASC, and it's 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5. But they've never had this many nominees that were this fucking weird.
When was the last time they were they were lower than 4 or 5? If you're able to see,
I'm looking through right now. I'm at 2016 at this point, and it's still they're like 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. Back to 2015, it's still going strong. But again, they've never had, this many.
Okay, so if we're saying Maverick's in, and we have Elvis in, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's 2 out of 5, and let's be generous and give them 3 out of 5, and that is Batman, or Empire of Light, So that's 3. What are the other 2 then? Is it Avatar and Banshees? Is it Babylon and Fablemans? Is it All Quiet and Tar?
I think Avatar and Fablemans or Avatar and Banshees.
Okay.
Avatar is one of them.
Yeah.
But again, like, we don't need... It's just such a weird lineup that ASC did that I don't see it repeating because it's just so off of what this award season is looking like. But anyway, let's go back to Critics' Choice. This is not ASC right now.
Hair and makeup time.
All right.
Elvis, Whale.
Elvis or Whale. I am saying it's Whale, just because Critics' Choice seems like they'd go Whale over Elvis, but, it could be Elvis.
And I am with the actor makeup pairing of Austin Butler and Elvis. That brings us to Score, which is a category Gold Derby is doing something with. I don't really know what they want to do with, but they have Fablemans as number 1, and they have Women Talking at number 4. I don't think Women Talking is winning, but putting it at 4 is crazy to have it behind Pinocchio as well. And then at least they know Tar is number 6. But are you Team Women Talking? Are you Team Babylon? Or are you thinking Critics' Choice is going Fablemans?
I think that they're going to go Babylon. I think they're going to hold up Babylon. I don't think really anything else has a shot unless the Fablemans coasts by exclusively on John Williams.
I would have said if Batman made the shortlist, it could maybe surprise here. But Batman didn't make the shortlist, and I therefore think the Critics' Choice won't care.
Yeah, so let's lock it in. It's Babylon.
I agree. I will rock with that. That brings us to Song. And is this the continuation of Not To Not To?
I think it is the continuation of Not To Not To. Critics' Choice likes RRR more than most places. So Not To makes sense. And yeah, let's think about the other possibilities. Black Panther, Top Gun. They don't feel that strong at the Critics' Choice. So Not To just works here.
Yeah, I made the case that I think Not To, if nominated, will probably continue to win going throughout the season. Just because that is a place that people who love RRR can shower with love. Because we've had this conversation for months now. Lady Gaga, Rihanna, take your pick. They're probably going to be pretty close. Just, are you going to go with the tribute song or are you going to go with the big song at the end of the big blockbuster for the year? And if they kind of split in the internet votes there, the passionate people, they're going Not To. It just has to get nominated.
Well, I mean,
where it could not show up.
You heard Jason Blum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lock it in now. RRR is winning Best Picture.
Sadly, I don't think that's happening, but we will see. You know what category it can't win? It can't win production design at CCA because it's not nominated.
No, it's not.
That
Very
that leaves some choices here because if you're predicting the Oscars, Babylon's there. If you're going off of prior history, Black Panther's there. If you're going for the big surging movie, there's Elvis. And then you have what I think is going to win, being The Way of Water.
I agree. Avatar's actually been winning most places for production design. So I think Avatar feels very strong here. So, but I see also a possibility for Everything Ever All at Once. So I think there's 4 that can win this award: Avatar, Elvis, Babylon, and Everything Ever All at Once. I would go in that order, and I'm gonna say it's Avatar.
That moves us to the other category Avatar, I think, has in the bag of visual effects. Any chance you see an upset here?
No, it's Avatar.
Cool. Next category. Oh, that's the final category.
That's it. That's the last category.
That's it for CCDA. And yeah, so I think we had a lot of overlap, but we also had a fair share of differences there. Do you have any like final last like, hey, bold, this is my pick or my upset or something at CCA?
You know what? I'm going to go back. I'm changing supporting actress from Condon to Bassett.
You took it out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say as well.
Yeah, I just, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I feel like the supporting categories kind of have to be clean sweeps. So let's just lock it in. It's Bassett.
Cool. We're both with Bassett. Everyone out there, let us know. Are you also in Team Bassett, or are you still rocking with Condon or Jamie Lee Curtis or one of the other options? Because they nominate 6 here because they were weird. But until next time, my name's Dyl.
And my name is Matt, and this has been Fantasy Filmball.